300 million years ago, in a swamp in what is now Argentina, still part of the supercontinent Gondwana, a giant spider-like creature died and was covered in sediment. In 1980, in the San Luis province of central Argentina, a slab of Carboniferous rock ended up in the possession of Mario Hanneken, a paleontologist in Cordoba. The slab had come from a fossil bed called the Bajo de Valise Formation. Pressed into the surface of the slab was the spider-like fossil. Hanneken measured it, 34 centimeters head to tail. He projected from the body a leg span around 50 centimeters. The largest spider alive today is the Goliath bird eater of the Amazon, a tarantula with a leg span about 30 centimeters. The fossil on Hanneken's desk dwarfed it. He was looking at the largest spider that had ever existed. He named the genus Megarachne and published his description in 1980. Megarachne quickly acquired a kind of prehistoric celebrity and began showing up in museums as display models and in popular science publications. Spiders are already scary. A spider the size of a dog capable of swimming was terrifying. But there was a problem. In the years after the original description, skepticism began to grow around Megarachne. It came from the arachnologists. When specialists looked at the published photographs of the fossil, they noticed things that didn't quite look right. The back carapace had unusual surface ornamentations. It also looked like it might be divided into a front and back section by a faint seam. The forward projecting structures that Hanneken called fangs ended in flattened tips. No spider, alive or dead, has paddle-tipped fangs. To make things worse, no one could get their hands on the original fossil to check its details. It had been deposited in a vault, and outside researchers who wanted to study it could only obtain low-quality plaster copies. Suspicions continued to grow, but without direct access to the specimen, no one could realistically publish a contradiction. Meanwhile, in the rocks of the Bajo de Valise Formation, a second fossil was found. This new fossil was more complete than the first. It preserved parts of the front section of the body that the original had not, including what appeared to be the bases of the fourth pair of appendages. The original fossil had also been released from its vaults around the same time. The British arachnologist Paul Selden was one of the world's leading authorities on fossil spiders at the time, and he had been among the skeptics for years. When the new material became available, he assembled a small team to settle the matter. The team included Jose Antonio Carranca, an Argentinian arachnologist, and Mario Hanneken himself, the man who had named Megarachne a giant spider 25 years earlier. It turned out the features Hanneken had called fangs were not fangs at all. They were mouthparts of a different kind entirely, paddle-tipped as the skeptics had said, and exactly what you would find on a Eurypterid. The abdomen in the original specimen was actually one of the plates that runs along the Eurypterid's back. The ornamentation arachnologists were confused by were crescent-shaped marks diagnostic of Eurypterids and absent from spiders. The Eurypterids are a group of extinct aquatic arthropods called sea scorpions. Eurypterids were huge and ruled the oceans up until the Permian extinction before the dinosaurs. The largest, Jackalopterus, could grow up to 8 feet long, the largest arthropod that ever lived. Eurypterids are a close cousin of the horseshoe crab and share enough in common with arachnids that in low-quality fossils, they can be mistaken for one another. In March 2005, the team published their reanalysis in Biology Letters under the title The True Identity of the Supposed Giant Fossil Spider Megarachne. The paper is short, only 4 pages, and will be linked in the description. Megarachne's true body length was around 54 centimeters, huge for a spider, but no longer record-breaking once among the Eurypterids. It was a medium-sized animal of the group, far smaller than its giant cousins, It lived in rivers and swamps on the floor of a carboniferous wetland. Based on its mouthparts and forelimbs, it likely fed through a strategy known as sweep feeding. The front appendages of Megarachne have rows of blades and spines, which they may have raked through the soft sediment of riverbeds. Small invertebrates living in the mud would be caught against the blades and pushed towards the mouth. In a 2021 paper, paleontologists Emily Hughes and James Lamstill estimated the prey size that fossil sweep feeders could have captured, based on the spacing and feeding structures of their appendages. For Megarachne and its relatives, the estimated prey range was roughly 1 to 50 millimeters. This feeding style may have been what kept the Megarachne alive through the Devonian mass extinction. While other Eurypterids specialized as active hunters and went extinct along with their prey, Megarachne moved into freshwater environments and trawled the mud, and the mud sustained it for another 100 million years. That is, until the Permian extinction, which wiped out most life on Earth.